Hi guys, it's Punchy, and today I'm going to be bringing you an interesting guide that I've been enjoying lately. The name of the game for this character is Stealth and Charisma, one that sneak up on people and run their pockets. Also, I cannot thank you guys enough for your undying support. I recently hit 10,000 subscribers, which is crazy for me to think of. It's insane how quickly I've grown in the last couple months, and this is not the end. I'm going to keep making videos until I can achieve Lightborn or something. All jokes aside, again, I sincerely thank you for helping me get this far. First off, this is what my stats are looking like, and to be honest, this build isn't the most viable, but it's my most fun. As a level 54, I have 1 Strength, 21 Fortitude, 102 Agility, 2 Intelligence, 1 Willpower, 78 Charisma, 10 in Thunder Call, which is a mistake, and 79 in medium weapons. Personally, I have more fun with swords and spears instead of daggers. It does have a bell as well as a weapon enchant, so this is definitely what I would consider an end game type of build. Alright, so starting off this build, I wanted to be stealth based, and who's more sneaky and underhanded than a snake? For this reason, I picked Itrian. My character originally was going to be a girl, but I didn't really want to wear long hair, hence the name Emery. Feel free to recreate this build with whatever race you like, but I think that quick Felinors or sneaky Itrians fit the theme of the assassin the most. There's a couple problems with this build that I overlooked that I could have prevented when I created my character. I've never put any points into the lightning, so it's technically taking up space for no reason. It's a bit of a shame, but I do have an excuse every single time I lose against my friends. I started off my journey leveling up my medium weapon, agility, as well as charisma, running around at Bandit Island and generally killing anything and anybody I saw. During my progression, I had discovered Tasset, and that helped a lot as I began to need luck for my rare skills. If you don't know what the Tasset murmur is, I recommend watching my full video on this, but as a summary, you need to do bounty kills with a high level of charisma. One of my friends was being kind and let me grip him 35 times, so I was able to get this murmur. At the end of the day, I finally got Tasset and I could vanish at any time I wanted. I was definitely not planning for this build to have invisibility, but since this is a sneaky assassin build, it fit in perfectly. Although I have both stealth and invisibility, if you notice at the beginning, this build is not full on agility and damage, but I do have a sizable amount of points dedicated to both charisma and fortitude. Realistically, in this game, the likelihood of fully sneaking up on somebody and killing them like Assassin's Creed is very, very low. So because I don't have faith in my stealthing ability, this build is more balanced than you would assume. I'm sure you could min-max to sneak up on somebody and kill them instantly with bloodthirsty enchants or heroism enchants, but I decided to stick with a different enchant just due to the aesthetics. So the mantras I felt like using were useful even though I did not have an attunement based build. Both my dash and revenge were modded to give a lot of length and had blue gems slapped onto them. It's silly that you can only use one at a time, but I use revenge to run mostly and dash to mess around during combos. Master's Flourish was a move I learned to love with this build. I put a bloodless gem on this and modified it with a large amount of cloudstones and viper gems to do crazy damage and heal me up. I tend to extend my combos and momentum with this move, and if you flourish into this mantra, it hits almost every time. Adrenaline Surge, I renamed mine to perks, gave me a speed boost that threw enemies for a loop and procced many of my talents that did things if I had a speed boost. Blue gem on this. If you pair Adrenaline Surge after eating a cake and drinking a speed potion, you can move extremely fast. I believe with all these factors, you can be the fastest thing in the game. The last mantra I thought that was worth using on this build would be Taunt or Troll God as I renamed it. Throwing this out randomly really messes up the playstyle of people who like to jump often, and it shows. It makes attacks harder to react to because the option to jump is no longer there, as well as giving you the charm effect on your attacks. Many of these mantras complemented this build much more than any attunement could, and they were heavily buffed to the Hive Atrial. Just going to the tree and buying the necessary upgrades can make the moves last longer and do much more damage. Some of the talents that assisted this build out the most would have to be from my charisma and agility stats. Assassin and Hidden Blade probably had the highest impact on my assassinations because I can pull up with Tasset, do a dash and start swinging on somebody, due to my enchant allowing me to swing faster, bonus damage, and advantage on every single sneak attack I can pull off. Basic talents that work on any medium weapon build could be Thresher Claws for more penetration damage and Aerial Stab, which I use almost constantly with this build. Moving Weird gets into people's heads. The last talent that really stood out for me in this build was Warrior's Respite. This was unbelievably clutch for any stealth build or anything with Tasset. Pretty much I can go invisible and sit to heal while others cannot see me. A must get on any Tasset or assassin build if you ask me. Right now I'll show you a full list of my talents, so if you'd like to slow down the video you can replicate this fully. Most of the gear that I had equipped was just to give me a little bit more health, but I had a black hood on for an extra boost in stealth. I'm going to make a whole video about stealth as a stat, but with the whaling coat and all of my agility talents, I had about 158% stealth. Some of the enchants I had also impacted this build greatly. My boots with Allure just applied the charm effect on enemies that did damage to me, and is overall good if you have any modifiers to the charm effect. My weapon of choice on this build is the Warden Ceremonial Sword with the Obscurification enchant. This enchant makes my sword invisible, and it swings 10% faster along for combos that you didn't even know were possible. Some enchants that could have been better for a stealth build would be Deferred, Bloodthirsty, or Heroism, but as the Tasset Pioneer, I knew I had to pick this Invis enchant to fit the theme. The Obscurification enchant's all about swinging faster, so if you want to swing something faster, pick this one up. So, when I finally got my bell, I had a couple ideas in mind. Wind Up, Kamui, and Soul Jar are what I wanted so I could sneak up on people and do some devious goon activity. Unfortunately, I got full counter with the Beam, which I reroll into Run It Back. Although it's nothing that would be trolly, Run It Back is great for this build because I actually lack health, and whenever I pop it, I'm invincible for a time before I get teleported back. Pretty much much I place down a beacon and all the damage that applies to me does not count. This spell allows me to play with the Kamikaze playstyle, and paired with taunt and my faster swing speed, I have a lot of mix-up potential. Also, I think this thing might be corrupted because it sure lasts a long time. Anyway, check out some crazy fights and sneak attacks to see if you want to recreate this build for yourself. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more builds and guides in the future. Thank you.